morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Arlington Board of Trustees on December 19th, 2016 at 8 a.m. The board will begin in closed session at 8 o'clock. We will convene in closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code for the following purpose of personnel, of considering the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, or to hear complaints and charges against a public officer or employee. And we'll come back into closed session and open after that. Okay, at this time, I'll call back into open session this meeting of the Arlington ISD Board of Trustees, December 19th, beginning at 8:09 a.m. The only item on our agenda this morning is listed under consent. Ms. Powell, would you please share the bid with us?
Vice President Reich, board members, Dr. Cavazos, good morning, and thank you all very much for coming in for a called meeting. Having the called meeting allows us to keep our bond projects moving along. We have on the agenda, as you mentioned, on the consent agenda, a competitive seal proposal for construction of our Agricultural Science Center that is scheduled to open in August. So the administration is recommending the bid that represents the best value to the district with Ratcliffe Contractors.
Very good. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Christian, second by Bowie. All right. Any discussion? I don't see any lights. There we go. Mr. Hogg?
Hey, thank you, Dr. Reich. Ms. Powell, just remind us what the schedule is, and are we expecting, as we've had some delays in some other projects, is that full completion in August, or what do we expect?
The program will open in August. Our desire is to be complete in August. And so part of this is going to depend on the timing of getting our permits from the City of Dalworthington Gardens. Again, you know, part of the reason for having the meeting today was so we can begin to move that process along. So we have contingency plans in the event that that the building is not fully open. We have a barn and classrooms. So we would expect that at the very least the barn would be ready to house animals. If the portion of the building for classrooms is not completely ready, at that point we can accommodate those classes at the Career Tech Center for a period of time.
And Ms. Powell, let me ask: is there any more risk as we get final approvals from City of Dalworthington Gardens of materials change or anything that could escalate cost more on this?
I may ask either Mr. Horn or Mr. Harris, would you foresee any change in materials at this? No. Okay.
Okay. I just want to make sure they're not going to come back with a request that we have to use Italian marble on the outside of our ag barn.
Yeah, I think the answer on that would be no.
Okay, and the request. And Ms. Walton and Mr. Hibbs, who chairs our Finance and Accountability Committee, and myself met through this, and while I think we were a little soft on our original estimate of the budget, we understand the cost estimates on this and the increase of where this came in and why we're at and comparable to what we're offering to district. And I think the biggest point we made on a call as we discussed this was this is not just for animals. This is for numerous students to come through of almost all of our elementary schools, and where we see this ag barn progressing is for one, it serves a large amount of ag students that will be attending there, but then also the amount of elementary and potentially junior high that will be learning at this facility, I think serves the entire district very well.
Very good. Ms. Walton?
Just want to reiterate what Mr. Hogg said. Yes, it does involve a lot of children directly. This will also make it possible, I believe, is it correct that this will expand to all of our high schools? We'll add 2 more high schools to the program. It's nice that it's so centrally located for all of our students right there. And my favorite part about it is I'm hoping that young children will start to understand where their food comes from. and it's not Kroger's. So hats off to all the programming that we've got working in the works for our students. It's going to be a great benefit. Thank you.
I don't see any other lights. I have just one question, which is we're convening here under this special called meeting to make sure that things are on track so that we do have a firm project completion date sometime, I would assume, beginning of August, in time to open those doors for the students. How is our confidence threshold there compared to if we didn't have this meeting and we had our first meeting in January? Obviously, we're 3-4 weeks out. I know that's a significant delay, but with having our meeting today, are we feeling very confident that the doors will open for the students with full completion?
We are, and again, a lot of that is going to depend on how quickly we get permits from the City of Dalworthington Gardens. And they actually have a council meeting this evening to approve the plat for the project. And so several of us will be attending that meeting to answer any questions. So we intend to keep working to move this along.
Okay, and so they approved the plat tonight, then is there then a waiting game still on our part before we can begin the construction process, or?
I think we have a few comments on the building plan to respond to, and before we get that permit, I think they should be able to give us a site permit before we even get the building permit, so we can proceed to move
good.
that along. I
Good.
don't know that we have any kind of firm dates on when to expect those. You want to?
You're here, why not, right?
Yeah, sure. Good morning. The comments that we're addressing on the building permit application were actually had to do with the platting plans. Even though they're not tied together, you don't have to have one to get the other. The comments are related. So by virtue of the plat going forward tonight, we've addressed those. So we expect the building permit relatively soon.
Good, good. All right. Well, very good. I don't see any other lights. If there's no further discussion, then please vote. All trustees present vote in the affirmative. Consent passes. And with that, it is 8:16 a.m. and this meeting is adjourned.